between the time when Enons waged war against Scientology and the rise of the dank memes of Gamergate, there was an age undreamed of, when scores of faceless Xbox fanboys spammed the comments of defenseless pro PlayStation YouTubers. Upon this came Elpresador, destined to wear the jeweled crown of the Trey Brotherhood upon a beastly brow. Now let me tell you of the days of high trolling.
On the battlefield of the YouTube console war, both past and present, all videos fall into one of three primary categories: the corporate circle jerk, the area of effect attack, and the targeted attack. The purpose of the corporate circle jerk is threefold. 1. Troll fanboys of the opposite camp without directly interacting with any of them. 2. Lure unsuspecting fanboy simpletons into your shill hug box. And 3. Attract the attention of larger channels or actual corporate employees to increase your visibility and be gifted scraps from the master's swag table. The area of effect attack is essentially dropping a stick of dynamite into a lake and seeing how many fish pop up for the taking. It targets no one specifically in your chosen group, but at the same time applies to everyone in that same group so that each one dumb enough to click on your video feels like every line was intended specifically for them. The targeted attack is aimed at a single person. It could be a counter of something they said, it could be in response to something they said about you, or it could be a blindside to get their attention and goad them into a response. Out of the three types, only the targeted attack has specific rules, at least in how it pertains to the YouTube console war. You see, out of the top 20 members of the original Trey Brotherhood group, about 80% were trolls, 20% were actual fanboys, and then there was me, who kept a foot planted squarely on both sides, but only a couple of members were fully aware of that until it was, of course, too late. For the fanboys, the intended result was to defend the honor of their beloved PlayStation. For the trolls, the payoff was attaining lulls from pissing off fanboys and earning as many subs and views as possible. And one of the best ways to get as many subs and views as possible was collaboration. Now, I've already spoken about Trey Brotherhood members hosting each other's videos, tossing each other likes, subbing to each other, but that's not what I'm really getting at here. What I'm saying is to fully understand the original YouTube console war battlefield, you have to remember how much of it was inspired by the NWO or pro wrestling in general. And to do that, you have to understand a couple of pro wrestling behind the curtain terms. Work. A scripted event completely choreographed for the entertainment of the audience, hopefully without them knowing that it is scripted. Think Scott Hall first showing up in the crowd on WCW television. Shoot. A real event or unscripted promo that is the real feelings and or intentions of the one cutting the promo, usually done out of legit anger or frustration. Think CM Punk getting into the backstage fights at AEW. Worked shoot. A scripted event that has elements of reality incorporated into it to confuse the smart marks into not being able to tell what is real and what is scripted. Think the Montreal Screwjob of 1997 and how Vince McMahon used it to create the Mr. McMahon character as a foil for Steve Austin. Mark. A fan who believes that everything they're seeing is 100% real. Smart Mark. A fan who understands that some of what they're watching is just a show, but plays along because they enjoy feeling like they're a part of it all. And finally, Kayfabe. The practice of maintaining the illusion that everything performed is real while protecting the secret that it is not. In the case of the trolls of the Trey Brotherhood, it was a mixed bag. While Elpresador really had a dislike for nerds and meant every insult he ever hurled, most of the trolls in the Trey Brotherhood were of the worked-shoot variety. I like to compare it to that old Looney Tunes cartoon where the sheepdog and the wolf arrive together at the pasture every morning, clock in, spend all day legitimately trying to best each other, then clock out at 5 o'clock and go to the bar. You see, most of us, either almost immediately or gradually over time, were on good speaking terms with the main guys in the 360 Republic. Hell, Elpresador, Solid Rev, and myself all had surprisingly large fan bases on the 360 Republic forums, which MLD can attest to. And we all knew that the best way to get a bigger audience, get more views, and get more lulz was to put on a good show. And the best way to put on a good show was to make sure you and your opponent were putting your best foot forward to entertain the audience. You see, while we did attain lulz from attacking and/or outwitting specific targets, the ones we were really trolling were the audience, the fanboys on both sides who weren't in on the work. Yes, that includes you. Don't be mad, son. Now that isn't to say that the debates were fake, far from it. Just like the wolf and the sheepdog, we were friendly behind the curtain, but once we punched our time card and stepped in the ring, we did our best to outdo each other. But there were rules. 1. No going after family. 2. No trying to ruin your opponent's life in the real, like giving out their address or revealing their employer. 3. Keep kayfabe with the marks. In other words, don't divulge to the legitimate fanboys in either group that they themselves are being trolled as much as the fan bases are, as that could lead to the whole thing falling apart. And even though he himself is the biggest troll of us all, keep Elpresador in the dark about all of this too, as he is a wild card who is likely to react in any number of unspeakable ways. 4. If you lose your cool and disobey rules 1 through 3, you are fair game, and every method possible except for doxing, hacking, or false flagging can and will be utilized to destroy your reputation and/or your channel. When it comes to the Trey Brotherhood's involvement in the YouTube console war, the bulk of it can be split into 2 distinct eras. The Elpresador era, which ran from the summer of 2008 to the spring of 2010, and the 7th era, which ran from spring 2010 to winter 2013. I sound like such a tool when I say that. For the purposes of this series, we will be covering the Elpresador era, and we'll possibly cover the Me era in a Season 2 if there's enough interest. So, you've been given a full understanding of the battlefield and the rules of engagement. Now it's time for you to be introduced to all the major combatants, so that when we begin covering the major sagas of the Elpresador era of the console war, you'll be able to better follow along. So let's take a quick look at each in no particular order.
You 360 nuthuggers are fighting like this. Leave me alone, PlayStation! Leave me alone! And then we just come out here and systematically just pick you apart. Jab, you know. Right hand. Huh? You like that? Keep fighting. Leave us alone, PlayStation 3. Leave us alone, PlayStation. We help us. We come help us. We help us. Leave us alone, PlayStation. Atari, please. Y'all been on again, baby.
I think that about sums up Elpresador pretty well. Nuff said.
And this shit right here. When I said 103, yeah, what you gonna say? It was on 2. What's not? 360, dude. 360. Straight black. Ultra shit. Like, nigga, I think it's really called me now.
Acid Snake 87 was a pro-Sony guy, but he wasn't a troll so much as a legitimate fanboy. He'd go over numbers, best exclusives, the usual talking points. Most of his Trey-era vids have been permanently removed from YouTube, but he earned a mention here because he was well respected in the community and people still ask me about him to this day.
and time again, Truth, you are proven to be a flip-flopper. You are proven to be a hypocrite. Multiple times, Truth. You can deny this all you want. I'm saying it now. I've seen it with my own eyes. They've used your own videos to own you.
Blackbuster was hilarious. He was pro-Sony and a die-hard troll, but didn't just go after the 360 Republic. He also went after PC diehards in the community as well. He engaged in numerous memorable battles with MLD and others, but eventually transitioned to trolling Sonic the Hedgehog fan nerds once the Trey Brotherhood era of the console war ended, which ultimately led to him getting ultra-flagged by butthurt Sonic nerds.
Good evening, Nintendo apologists, corporate clowns, corporate slaves, drones, social rejects, and above all else, Nintendo Fairweather fans. This is what I like to call an 8-bit Nintendo controller for the original Nintendo Entertainment System.
As previously mentioned, Black Bond started out on the GameSpot System Wars and followed MLD to YouTube. When he first arrived, he thought the Trey Brotherhood was 100% legit and was an online trolling cult, a sort of video-centric equivalent to the Church of the Sub-Genius. Praise Bob! But then I took him aside after his first video and explained what was really going on. This forever altered his content as he fully embraced the pro wrestling connection and still has voice clips of CM Punk in his intro to this day. The child of wealthy parents, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
We're all set to grok. Wow, this is the first time I ever grokked.
And loves to let everyone know about it. He loves to show off his retro game collection, despite it being vastly inferior to mine. What's wrong, Bond? Still haven't convinced Daddy to buy you your own copy? He also goes out of his way to make sure the whole community knows he's really loved by white women with daddy issues.
Now, on to our thing. Man, I gotta tell you, 8-Bit Joker, man, this guy is just fucking hilarious. I can't believe the level of stupidity he has gotten to.
Console Truth was one of the smaller channels out there, but is still remembered mainly because he hid his identity behind a mask that looked somewhat similar to the Riddler's mask in the most recent live-action Batman film. While he never labeled his channel as a Trey Brotherhood member channel per se, never shouted out the tagline, never threw up the hand signal, etc., most of his videos were pro-Trey Brotherhood, and several of us had positive interactions with him, though none of us ever let him in behind the curtain. Regardless, he was a good dude, so he earned a mention here.
Hey YouTube, what's up? It's your boy MaxTech15 in the building. You already know what to do. Haven't made a video for like 3 weeks. Thought I'd come back. I'll make a it's as simple as that video, and you already know who it is I'm owning right now.
MechTech15 was a smaller YouTuber of the Trey Brotherhood, but was well liked in the community and took part in a lot of the Trey Brotherhood PSN live chats back in the day. He was primarily known for his Simple as That series, where he repeatedly pointed out the factual errors of Pyro 2000X.
Okay, buddy, looks like I hit a nerve. Well, get used to that, because I hit a lot of them on my way out. But you told me I walked up in your house. You told me I went up in your house and got you. You're damn right I did, buddy. I walked up onto your porch, knocked on the door, then kicked the door down, walked up the stairs, knocked down your bedroom door, slapped your girl on the ass, told her she was great last night. I told her I put the money on the dresser. I walked out, slapped you in your face, and left.
Zephyrnix, aka Sniffin' Dicks, was active from almost the very beginning, first coming to prominence when he went up against Elpresador. As stated before, he was mainly a PC guy, but he first got started trying to counter Elpresador over his anti-360 views, so he was labeled an Xbot from day one despite not actually being one. He claimed at one point to work for Microsoft, which was never proven. He also claimed to be married, which was also never proven. But what was proven was that he had a fondness for sliding the old one eye into overweight fugly white women when his sex tape got leaked onto Xtube, resulting in guys from both sides mocking him incessantly for it. This did not, however, deter him, and he stayed active in the console war right up until when the community devolved into what came to be known as the Crumbside community, first coined by Hard 8 Times, at which point he got into a back-and-forth troll battle with MVP Deadly Messiah New York. In the thick of that, I caught him faking a community violation flag and falsely accusing MVP of trying to kill Zeffy's channel. I also caught him faking being arrested by his local police. These two events destroyed what little reputation he had in the community, so he swiftly packed on 30 pounds of ass-hurt depression and transitioned to uploading reviews no one watched.
Okay, there it is. Number 10. You all knew it was coming sooner or later. You've all saw the previous videos, right, where I showed all the other Xboxes. This is number 10.
Laren von Baron was an older gentleman who, at the time, appeared to be in his early to mid-50s. He was a PlayStation fanboy convert, having gone through 9 Xbox 360s red-ringing on him before finally getting the hint. He was never part of the Trey Brotherhood, but instead was part of a small group of guys who rallied around the truth setting you free when he broke off from the Trey Brotherhood at the tail end of the Trey Civil War and started talking about forming a gamers union. What Laren von Baron was really talking about was a gamers advocacy group, but called it a union because he didn't really understand the difference between the two. He spoke often of his near-death experience brought on by what he claimed was a terminal illness, so naturally 14 years later I assumed that he had gone on to the great gaming basement in the sky by now, only to find out last Tuesday that no, he's actually still alive and still making videos under the name Gamers Get Played.
Microsoft, let me know if your warranty covers this. Now let's go check out the Xbox, what the 3006 did to it. Ooh, holy, look at that.
P-Bone34 had a smaller audience, but was liked by pretty much everyone in the Brotherhood. He was known primarily for 3 things: doing skits, his love of firearms, and doing impersonations of various people in the community that had always sounded like the same impersonation, but with just different props. He battled MLD, Toke64, and then mysteriously vanished off YouTube. It was later learned that he was blackmailed into shutting his own channel down by an associate of Samuel the Geek, which ended up tarnishing Sam's reputation and getting him ostracized from the community. P-Bone also has the distinction of being the only Trey Brotherhood member that was immortalized in an Elpresador impersonation video.
Okay, we interrupt this program, YouTube, to bring you breaking news, breaking announcement. There has been an email virus that is stealing your subscribers on YouTube, and it is taking all your subscribers, making it look like you have no subscribers, and then making it look like someone has more subscribers than you, and therefore negating your chances for partnership. So, it is very pertinent that we get this idea and everything straightened out, and please thumbs up so you can alert everybody in the general public and let everybody know that this people is out there taking your subs and making it look like you have no subs, therefore negating your chances for YouTube partnership. We need to get the awareness up, people, so thumbs up and favorite and everything so this gets awareness.
You know, I almost forgot. It's that easy, son. The originator.
This is Tokes, 6'4". And, you know, I said my warnings. I severely said my warnings. I said my piece to my friends. But hey, people still around me are still severely, psychotically upset. You 7th level of a bitch.
Toke64 was an aspiring rapper on the south side of Los Angeles. Tokes got into the console war presumably out of boredom, saw some Trey Brotherhood videos and decided he wanted in on the action, only to find out that his real-world mental problems made it hard for him to not take it seriously, which ultimately resulted in he and his cousin threatening to murder me on camera in a video that is still considered possibly the most unintentionally entertaining video to come out of the Elpresador era. This prompted me to reach out to him behind the scenes and clue him into a few things, and we ended up becoming friends and remain so to this day.
I just want to see what your answers are, and just let me know. I want to know why your backyard is all fucking junked up, like a junkyard. And number 2, why the fuck are you so stupid?
Well, to be completely honest with you, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Mr. Who Gives a Fuck, also known as the Silent Mindfucker. Mr. Who Gives a Fuck was mainly active in the first year of the Elpresador era, before getting his channel destroyed by false DMCA claims during the false flagging saga. He was also a pro-Sony troll and was primarily known for repeatedly destroying El Baracho. Despite his brief time in the console war, he developed enough of a fan following to inspire fan-made cartoons about him.
What do you guys think? I look good.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I totally screwed or what?
Hey guys, Infinite Rip. What the fuck could that be? Jeez. Bloody hell. Just wasn't all sitting down, prepared to relax, right? Yeah, I'm coming. Who the fuck could this come be?
Hey, what's up, my baller brother from another mother?
What the fuck do you want, Gimp?
Shit, son, you know me, I'm out of money again. Would you do me a favor and give me $5 for this so I can go rent Skyrim?
Go fuck yourself.
Fucking kangaroo fucking asshole! God damn it!
Fucking loser.
Infinite Retro is an Australian. Infinite Retro was well liked because, for Americans, anyone with an Australian accent is instantly cool, mostly due to nostalgia for Crocodile Dundee and the Mad Max trilogy. Retro is a multi-degree black belt in martial arts and at one point ran his own martial arts dojo. Retro was good at video editing, had numerous characters he created over the course of his time in the console wars, most notably of which was a character called Sexual Sony, essentially the Australian counterpart to Review Tech USA's old Sexy Coco character. Unfortunately, Retro also had a penchant for befriending insane people and having them turn on him when he wouldn't back up their insanity, the worst of which was Hooge 1. Retro eventually left the console war and went back to PC gaming, got several of his videos flagged, which caused him to open a new channel called Baldic Games, which also got flagged into oblivion, so he managed to get his old channel back, which then once again got flagged into oblivion repeatedly, so nowadays he can only be found on Twitter.
What's up, it's Wipeout. I just got Mag, and I'm about to open it up. I know I'm a little late on it, but better late than never. I was skeptical, couldn't resist, so I picked it up. I had to trade in some games to get it. I know I said I wouldn't trade in any games, but I only traded in multi-platform games. I actually traded in 18 of my multi-platform games. 18 games. Here, I'll show you guys what my shelf looks like now. Before it was all the way across. Ooh, now.
Wipeout fell into the legit Sony fanboy side of things, but everyone in the community liked him because he had just a slight bit of trolling to him while simultaneously displaying a legit love of gaming and exhibiting a lot of gaming history knowledge. He was more or less the PG-rated me, and is also one of the guys who still gets asked about today.
Well, it seems that the living, breathing stereotype has responded to me yet again. However, this is going to be the last video response I do to him because, I know that he has ADHD and, I think it would torture him much more for me not to pay attention to him.
Samuel the Geek was a 17-year-old who thought he was 35. He also thought he was a legitimate gaming journalist because he wrote for a small indie site called Freeze Cracker. Sam was not a 360 fanboy, but got lumped in as one because he first came to prominence trying and failing to out-troll Elpresador. He developed a reputation for being someone who loved to dish it out but couldn't take it, due to how many of his opponents found their videos about him mysteriously getting flagged off the platform. Some of these flaggings weren't actually him or any of his freeze-cracker cronies, but were instead perpetrated by a faceless troll named Presdant during the false flagging saga, which we'll cover in a later episode. But he was most certainly involved in the destruction of P-Bone 34's channel, albeit not directly. It was one of his cronies that did it, which ruined his already shaky reputation with the community. These days he still makes videos about gaming, but he's more of a mature stand-up guy who's active in his local community politics.
The Trey Brotherhood fucking sucks! You're fucking with wrestling? You might as well fuck with me.
El Borracho, aka Master Borracho, aka 8-Bit Joker. El Borracho was a man who lived with his mother in a trailer in the middle of a junkyard. He had pit bulls and just loved to threaten to sick 'em on Trey Brotherhood members. He had a very distinctively weird voice due to suffering from chronic derpitis, making him one of the easiest lolcows in the community to impersonate. Basically, everyone in the Trey Brotherhood had an El Borracho impression. He only lasted the first year of the Elpresador era, during which he was treated like a prism bottom bitch by everyone from Elpresador to Mr. Who Gives a Fuck to Solid Rev and even Reston, who he tried to befriend when Reston was kicked out of the Brotherhood, despite Reston having spent much of his Trey Brotherhood days mocking El Borracho both in public and in private PSN chats with Elpresador. Ultimately, everyone on both sides of the community contributed to destroying every channel El Borracho opened because he was known for false flagging anyone who countered his vocal diarrhea. Borracho doesn't make console war vids anymore, but he is still active on YouTube and is probably watching this video right now, hoping to score a piece of my clothing so his dogs can catch the scent.
Before we get this started, y'all, I gotta say one thing. Sunny D and rum, yum yum. I just can't get enough. That's right!
WCIP Champlu, or more simply, Champlu, was just an all-around good dude. He was possibly best known as being the webmaster of the original Trey Brotherhood website. Outside of hosting PSN chats with General G and Real GTA 4, which often included Humpmaster Flex repeating his tried and true 3-hole jokes about Solid Rev, he stayed out of most infighting and was well respected. He eventually dropped out of the console war and started a new channel called Dub Central.
A grown-ass lame. Kilimanjaro forehead, Mount Kilimanjaro.
Humpmaster Flex was a pure-on troll who instantly understood what the bulk of the Trey Brotherhood was all about and quickly joined in the fray. When he first showed up, he had long frizzy hair that he kept pinned back with a hair bow. He sat in front of a window in his parents' house that resembled a hippie commune, the sunlight shining through his hair and giving it a reddish hue, which led to him being nicknamed Ginger Flex and/or Pippi Longstockings. He was perhaps best known for having a laugh even more grating than Elpresador's and referring to Xbots as 360 gay lords. However, in the middle of the Trey Civil War saga, he realized that he could attain twice as many lulls by attacking both sides. So he switched to primarily being a Steam-centric PC gamer and trolled people on both sides of the console war fence. Eventually, he became so annoying to the general public that he kept getting his channels flagged down, to the point where his current channel is now Humpmaster Flex 22. He was also known for repeatedly making fun of Solid Rev's receding hairline, only to end up getting hit with male pattern baldness in his mid-20s, and now rocks that classic 7th look.
You just let the real game. Holy shit! Oh man! Oh, you right-wing Christian conservative gamer, you!
Reston was a gaming nerd and wannabe troll who was a fan of the WWE's Attitude Era. He quickly fell in man-boy love with Elpresador because Prez reminded him of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He would go after whoever Elpresador was targeting, and often invited Elpresador into private PSN chats that he recorded to prove how much Prez really liked him. Eventually, he got word that the other members of the Brotherhood were laughing at him behind his back for being a massive kiss-ass, and he reached out to Elpresador in a private message asking if he and Elpresador were still good, not knowing that Prez had been trolling him the whole time and had him pegged as a fanboy dork from day one, which led to him trying to go up against Elpresador and failing at it so badly that even El Borracho tried to defend him. By the time I showed up in late July 2009, Reston had more or less disappeared, only to be occasionally mentioned in a sort of running joke. I got my start on July 27, 2009. I'd been laid off as a consequence of the financial crash of 2008 and had been looking for something to do while scouring the one ads for IT jobs. One night I was watching AVGN videos, and the sidebar had a link to one of Destructoid's Fanboy Friday articles, which included a link to Elpresador. I spent a month catching up on everything that had been uploaded to that point by all the major players at that time, including the aforementioned Reston, El Borracho, Zephyrnix, and Samuel the Geek sagas, and finally decided on the 27th to throw my hat into the ring. I was primarily known for being a troll who was also an authority on retro gaming and console gaming history, being the first one in the community to have my own originally composed and performed intro music, being the first one in the community to make deep use of green screen,
Hello, truth setting you free. It is I, Dr. Seven, your arch nemesis.
being the first one in the community to use the troll trap method, being one of the first alongside Rev and Dumars to use scripted multi-angle skits for trolling.
Please, if you find this video, tell my family that I will miss them. And tell my best and closest friends that I love them all. You can find them on my new Xbox forum, where we ban anyone that has anything negative to say about the 360. Or you can find the rest of them at www.systemwars.
MLD!
Oh, take off, man. I just pissed my pants, eh?
Yeah, I found you this time. Stop whining, you Canadian pansy.
No!
Look
no.
who I brought with me, MLD.
No. Not the nightstick!
The
Not the
time for begging is over! So I'm irrelevant, huh? Well, who's irrelevant now, huh? Who's irrelevant now? Now sound off like you got a tray, you little pig.
Alright! 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 Trey for life. Trey for life.
Your lack of faith disturbs me,
don't
MLD.
take that. No, it's all I have left. It's all. No! 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 I will miss you most of all.
Alright, son. It's time to say goodbye to your precious Master Chief!
No! 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 No!
over here!
And being the first and only Trey Brotherhood member to get over 1 million views on a video, and eventually being named by Elpresador as the new leader of the Trey Brotherhood just to piss off the truth setting you free.
What I'm about to say is controversial. It may be a bitter truth that you may not want to hear, but let me just say this. Don't get angry. It means you're sensitive, okay? Even if you traditionally support me, try to keep your feelings in check if what I'm about to say angers you in some way. It's just an opinion, okay? What I'm saying is just an opinion. If it strikes a nerve with you, I'm sorry, but you're sensitive. The reason why I switched from GameCube to Xbox 360 was because I grew up.
General MLD was a Canadian banking major who started out as a keyboard warrior troll on the GameSpot System Wars and decided to get into YouTube once the flood of Trey Brotherhood accounts started spamming the crap out of every thread on System Wars. He filmed all of his videos from his mother's music room and focused primarily on just a couple of points. 360 was in second place in hardware sales and, at least at the time, had more single-A, double-A, and triple-A games than the PS3. His videos were mostly clean. He never directly attacked anyone and stuck mostly to his small list of points. The only curse word he ever used throughout his run was when he repeatedly referred to the PS3 as the third place bitch. His last big hurrah was a 4-part debate with me, and by the time the PS3 overtook the 360 in worldwide hardware sales, he was long gone, and stayed gone for the better part of a decade, returning briefly to YouTube during the pandemic, only to quit again once he realized that modern Xbots only care about corporate circle jerkers like Colt Eastwood, and decided to stick to trolling on Twitter.
My dick is long.
Real GTA 4 was a Hispanic Trey Brotherhood troll who always made sure in every video to tell you to suck his dick because his dick was long.
My dick is long.
Unfortunately, not enough people believed him, so he eventually whipped it out on camera and had the visible cojones to post the video, which got him permabanned from YouTube and all his videos deleted, so now he only exists in our hearts and in Champlou's archived PSN chats.
They get upset over the destroyer's opinion. You won't stop me, you can't stop me, and keep being mad. You mad, bros?
General G was a Mexican troll and a die-hard PlayStation supporter. It was genetically impossible for G to not use the F word at least once in every sentence. He referred to Xbots as 360 nerd turds. Everyone in the Brotherhood loved him to death, but due to getting into video wars with Humpmaster Flex and FL Doom Ars 04, both during and after the Trey Civil War saga, he lost his first 3 channels due to fanboy flagging. Not long after that, he started making videos about cell phones, then disappeared for years until finally returning to post 1 new video during the pandemic, then disappearing again. A few years ago, he agreed to meet up with me at Retropalooza Houston, only to get so drunk the night before that he ended up being too hungover to attend. Possibly most famous for either doing a dance video to the techno song Suck My Dick that was soon deleted and never archived, or the fact that he gave Africa on PS3 a 9.5 out of 10.
You know, after going on YouTube today and looking at the feedback, I'm actually kind of glad shit's gone down the way it has. I'm glad Dumars held up that 360 Modern Warfare 2. I'm glad he is. You know, I've been looking at a lot of shit on here. Let's get back to owning the Weebles. Let's get back to owning the Weebles. You know, I got a question for you. If you're a die-hard Sony supporter and you're on YouTube, you're not on here for entertainment, why are you here?
Solid Rev is a good stand-up dude. He's a family man with traditional values. He's known these days for his physical fitness, his firearms collection, having awesome well-rounded kids, still having the most attractive wife in the community 14 years later, and constantly getting free shit from Blaze 4K. But back in 2008, he saw the YouTube waters were good for trolling and joined up with the Trey Brotherhood. Back then, he had neglected his weights and was a much skinnier dude, sort of resembling a southern redneck version of Randall from the Clerks movies. He also cursed like a sailor, which he's now quite embarrassed about. He inadvertently helped bring about the Trey Civil War when he and FL Dumars 04 bought Modern Warfare 2 for the 360 so they could play it with their in-real-life friends, which spun the Truth Setting You Free into righteous indignation, flooding the community with his period blood.
Yo, what's going on, bro? No, my girl got me this 360, actually. I'm just scrolling through the live menu, seeing what it's all about, you know?
You got a fucking Xbox 360? Congratulations. You're a fucking Xbox.
I'm a fucking what?
Somebody who's under the rule of Microsoft. Somebody who pays $50 a year to play online.
Bro, relax, okay? I piss $50 a year. And besides, it's like $20 just to get my damn haircut. How does that make me under the rule of Microsoft?
Xbox.
FL Dumars 04 was the Robin to Solid Rev's Batman. If Rev came up with an idea for a skit, Dumars was the butt of the jokes in said skit. He helped bring about the end of the Elpresador era of the Trey Brotherhood when he bought Modern Warfare 2 for the 360 instead of the PS3 and made a video about it. Also known for getting into a vid war with General G during this period and got so ass hurt over another grown man on the internet implying that he was poor white trash that he went and got a bank statement from his ATM just so he could film the receipt and show how much money he had in the bank.
Hi there. Hi, pressure. Was last night good for you? Good for me. Oh, yeah. My beautiful PlayStation. Oh, my PlayStation with a Spider-Man logo. I love you.
Hellhound was an excellent comic book artist. He was also a massive troll. He was a multi-console owner. He had a 360, a PS3, and a Wii. At the time he started YouTube, he chose the 360 side. Why, I'll never know. He was a good editor, had lots of FX skills. In fact, he designed my first intro for me, seen earlier in this video, so visually his stuff was on a higher level already than everyone else when he first joined the fray. I quickly became friends with him behind the scenes very early on. At one point, he mentioned that he wanted to switch sides because we were clearly having most of the fun, but didn't think that he'd actually be accepted if he tried. So together we concocted a scheme where he and I would battle back and forth while feeding Solid Rev and Elpresador a line of bullshit that he had been a PS3 fan all along and was faking his 360 videos so we could humiliate MLD. We kept this trolling up on both sides until he developed a large fan following on the 360 Republic forums. When MLD went so far as to name Hellhound as his official second-in-command, we posted our troll trap videos, which pissed off scores of Xbots and led to every mention of Hellhound being removed from MLD's channel page and the 360 Republic forum.
Alright, a few quick things on, quick thoughts on White Knight Chronicles. What?
Come on. $7 for the shit. Cut. Never redo that. Cut.
I can't cut. This is a direct upload.
Oh, damn, for real?
Nah.
Hi.
Fury Doughboy walked so that one day Fat Gamer could run. A die-hard 360 fanboy, Fury was big on the scene for a while, getting into vid battles with me, Solid Rev, and others. Eventually, he earned the nickname Furry Doughboy. He soon disappeared off the platform and deleted all of his videos. He is why, when Fat Gamer came along, he was initially referred to as the second coming of Furry.
Jingle, 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 you will hear my nutsack ring.
Any first-person shooter, I am the T-Bat King.
Treasy504 is just an all-around good dude. He was a Trey Brotherhood member that even his Pro 360 haters liked because he was highly musically talented and a beast on the mic. Bro can rap his ass off. All of his Console War videos are long gone these days, but he's still an active gamer on many of the PSN friend lists of old Trey Brotherhood members. He was basically proto-Omega loser, but never needed or wanted to hide behind a mask.
Either he's sucking on something, or simply gargling on the fat of his neck.
Noxious BLD was a member of the 360 Republic. He was the creator of the X and Bot cartoon series. I say cartoon lightly, as the animation mostly consisted of a small handful of still frames of two C-3PO-looking droids with green eyes and Xbox logos with text-to-speech. The genius of his videos was in the writing. X and Bot were legitimately funny and absolutely ruthless, so much so that some of the Trey Brotherhood members would reach out to him and ask him to do an X and Bot roast of their channel just for the laughs. Perhaps most famous for out-and-out destroying Hooge 1 and being responsible for Hooge forever being known as the Water Buffalo.
It's gonna be so much fun if you're gay.
You know, I mean, before I was just like acting like some scared idiot, you know, like making a fool out of myself.
Yeah, you can like hit that ball. Yeah, and you can kick it with your feet. It's gonna be so much fun if you're gay.
And throughout all your vids, you're always doing this. Can you tell me what the fuck is that noise? What are you sucking on over there?
Hello?
They're using my videos to make fun of me. They're using my videos to make fun of me. And now they're saying that I'm a middle-aged sensitive.
So anyways, us obnoxious BLD stands for boys like dicks. Boys like dicks? No. It stands for big dick lover. I'm sorry. I must still be hungover. I don't know why.
Count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 paragraphs. How long would it take somebody to contemplate what they're going to say and to type 13 paragraphs to another man over the internet? Guess what? You didn't do nothing!
Hooge, aka the Water Buffalo, was a mentally unstable Canadian who tried desperately to be accepted by both the Trey Brotherhood and the 360 Republic, only to be soundly rejected by both camps for being a barely coherent lolcow. He was friends with Infinite Retro, and at one point manipulated the hell out of Retro by faking false flags and death threats, when in reality he was false flagging accounts so much behind the scenes he made President jealous. He would appear out of nowhere, false flag tons of videos, then disappear, then come back months later and start the whole process over. We eventually figured out that he would come back whenever the prescription on his brain-regulating medication ran out, then disappear once again when he was back on his pills. Disappeared years ago and hasn't been seen since.
I just want to say and discuss why Modern Warfare 2 is absolutely the best fucking first-person shooter ever made.
Magneto 39 was a fat-ass Russian X-Bot. He was a barely literate moron. Instant lolcow, the console war doorknob, everyone had a turn owning him. Perhaps best known for trying to raise awareness for his channel by doing the gallon milk challenge and throwing up all over himself on camera.
Alrighty, here we go. General, what's your face? MLD. Listen up, kid. You're trying to come across as some kind of Xbox Republic leader or some shit. The cream of the crop, the know-it-all, the man of that community. Let me tell you this. I've been looking at you guys going at it, the Brotherhood and the Republic, and I've got to tell you, I'm not impressed with you.
Digital Smoke represented the Eurotrash division of the Trey Brotherhood, best known for looking like a pimp from a Luc Besson action movie and making sure you knew at the beginning of every video that he was a
first prize winner, first person shooter player, maybe even the best around, who knows.
He eventually turned on Elpresador during the Trey Civil War, only to find out that everyone in the whole community considered him a joke from day one and just tolerated him for the lolcow value.
You know, and I've always given everybody that I felt deserved the fucking respect they get. I give it to them. I really fucking do. You know, I heard somebody say, oh, well, you know, the person that they are on YouTube.
Lots of truths in this community. You notice that? Truth Now 37 was a good guy. He filmed all his vids from a recliner in his trailer. He was one of the knowledgeable fanboys rather than a full-on troll, though he did do some trolling himself from time to time. To my knowledge, none of us ever broke kayfabe with Truth Now 37. But he'll always have a soft spot in my heart for giving 8th his first PS3 for Christmas when I was still hunting for a job.
Exposed! 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 Exposed!
Shokio is the younger brother of Blackbuster Critic. He mainly acted as his brother's sidekick in the early days of the YouTube console wars, as he was a Nintendo fan, and up to that point, the only people repping Wii were Shokio and a kid named Cardi. Initially known mostly for a skit where he pretended to have sex with his PS3 and being the origin of Black Bond's infamous Exposed meme, Shokio eventually went on to found the NW Nation Nintendo troll group, which was then promptly stolen from him by Black Baron. Yes, the guy who almost always loses on AEW Dark used to be a member of the YouTube console wars, ultimately leading to the Nintendo fanbase having its own civil war, which effectively ended when I got into a vid battle with Baron. He broke Rule 2 by accusing me of being a white supremacist, and so I then destroyed him so bad he stopped making console war videos and started focusing on sports, then disappeared for years and now has a mostly dead YouTube channel.
Ain't nobody talking when truth's talking, so shut the fuck up.
It's the truth setting you free. Once again defend the PS3 for all you racist card, born hater and ignorant tricks. It's the truth setting you free.
The definition of an Xbox.
That's right, Truth Setting You Free's back. Let's talk about some of these Xbots.
And finally, we come to the Truth Setting You Free. Truth was an actual PS3 fanboy. He took it serious to a fault. He worked from home as a video editor, was a wannabe rapper, openly bragged that he had the time to be on YouTube all day because his wife made $300,000 a year, had excellent editing skills, and actually made 2 new intros for my videos after we eventually squashed our beef, and at one point got so ass hurt over 2 guys buying a 360 game that he started an attempted coup over an organization that didn't actually exist, setting off the Trey Civil War. But that, my friends, is another story.
Xbox 360 or PS3? Xbox 360 or PS3? Trey! For life!